Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Europa Universalis 4. I've got something very special for you guys today. We're going to be exploring a brand new alternate history mod called Post Finum, and this is actually a project developed by my buddy Chewyshoot and a team of contributors, and it actually looks really cool. What is the premise for this mod? Well, basically it asks the question, what would have happened if Carthage had defeated Rome back in 146 BC? And the answer is, Rome never established its empire. The Latin hegemony did not spread across the Mediterranean and most of Europe. Christianity was never able to piggyback off of that and dominate the faith of all of Europe either. So everything is going to look extremely different. Carthage, for its part, did actually create a large Punic empire, but apparently did eventually collapse under its own weight as the Gauls and Germans rose up against it, the Spanish declared their own independence, and so on. And you can see over here in the eastern Mediterranean, the Diadochi states are still going fairly strong. We've got Macedonia, we've got Egyptos, and a whole bunch of other Hellenistic states who are following the Greek pantheon, though it does look a little bit different than you guys might remember, as the religion has been reformed under the centralized leadership of the Archon. And then, of course, over to the east, we have a massive Persian Zoroastrian empire. Awesome. There are a lot of nations with really cool mission trees in this mod, but I think the nation we're going to be playing as today is going to be Seleucia. Now, these guys are in a pretty dangerous position, surrounded by enemies on all sides, including with the Zoroastrian Empire and one of their satrapies, Khuzestan, right on its border, so that's a little bit scary. But these guys have some phenomenal military ideas which might give us a bit of an edge. We start with 10% morale of armies and infantry combat ability. We can get 5% more discipline. Plus we get army tradition, 15% siege ability, 10% movement speed, 25% force level modifier, tech cost reduction, land leader shock, and province war score cost reduction. All of this will end up being a very good for a militaristic playthrough. But first we have to survive. So, yeah, let's look for some friends. Who doesn't like Persia? Looks like Egyptos primarily. Egyptos, who is apparently hostile to me because we have ambitions to conquer some or all the same provinces. Great. I don't know, man. I think if you give me a chance, maybe we could be friends. Let's go ahead and try improving relations with Egyptos, see if I can get them on my side, and if I rival Persia, maybe that is something I'll be able to do. Well, I say that. We're actually nowhere near large enough to actually threaten Persia in that way. Okay, we'll just rival some nearby folks, like Tebrizia. That seems good. To also rival Uruk down over here because I want to expand in this direction early on, and I guess we'll go ahead and rival Arabia too. So I should be able to get an alliance with Edessa over here, maybe these guys up over here as well. Alright, so that's going to be 2 Hellenistic allies. Hopefully that's going to help me out. Now I'm doing that because I've already taken a look at the mission tree, which is looking pretty extensive over here. One of the first things I want to do is make sure we secure a place in the Greek world. This is going to give me some diplo power as well as a bit of extra relations and tolerance of the true faith. We also are going to need to take a stance against some of the other giants here, Macedonia, Egyptos, and Persia. Build up my army, get a general, and then insult somebody. Yeah, they'll probably kill me immediately, won't they? But this gets me a lot of valuable claims, and I really do want to get that. Also, revitalize the army. This is going to require that we win 10 battles and get some army tradition. I like this, by the way. This isn't just one of those missions where you build up a few troops and click a button. No, you actually have to, do something. Prove some military prowess. So what are some other cool features of this mod? Well, obviously we're going to be following the Hellenistic faith this time around, which does give me an idea of cost reduction and of cheaper culture conversion, which could be kind of useful. Mechanically, this works very similarly to the Holy See of Catholicism. Same basic idea, except we are going to be trying to get the Archon's favor and a centralized Hellenistic faith. Though it does look like there's going to be some reform as people want to decentralize to more regional Greek gods and pantheons as well, which is interesting. So this will be a thing later. I'm going to go ahead and delete my cavalry. They're going to simply cost me more than I can afford, and let's try to get ourselves some replacement infantry, since those are a lot cheaper. I'm going to go ahead and take out a small loan. We need to get some additional troops. Let's train up to our force limit, because I do start off with a few corps on some of my neighbors. In this case, it's going to be Apolloniatus? All right, and I'm just not going to pretend that I even know how to speak Greek. So this is a thing. Unfortunately, they've kind of allied with my rivals, which does make things a little bit awkward. Let's make sure we hire up a general, and unfortunately, I would not say that any of these guys are great. I don't love putting my ruler in charge, but I guess that's what I'll have to do. Put my heir in charge for now. And now I'll go ahead and send a little insult over here to Persia, which feels really risky because I'm literally poking the Zoroastrian bear. But that does mean that now I can finish the mission between giants and gain some permanent claims in a few different regions, plus more shock damage and core creation cost reduction. So now I've got claims on all of these areas as well, including with one of my allies, which admittedly is a little bit unfortunate, but I'll probably just use these guys and promise them land against one of my enemies. The more important thing is I really want to take over this area down over here, Erythra. If we're going to be fighting anyway, let's plan on attacking these guys over here and make sure I get some of my core states back, because that means I can grow a lot faster. I will attack for, I guess, your capital. We'll have to siege it down, but that's fine. Go! Crush their army real quick, and then get ready to go and deal with Tabrizia while we lay siege. Ideally, these guys are not going to end up being a threat to me. May not work out that way, we'll see. There we go, we just stack wiped their forces. Now that is beautiful. And we just got something cool here. A herald from Italia. The expulsion of the Scarlet Delegation. Yeah, that's a lot of awesome-looking text, and my understanding is that Chewy and a couple of other folks wrote like an absolute ton of lore into this mod, which is awesome. But yeah, the Italia Federation over here is one of the recommended nations to play. I can imagine trying to establish a Roman Empire in 1444 would be pretty cool, by the way. Let's be honest, at the end of the day, this is still a Paradox game, and it doesn't matter how many mods you create, all roads lead to Rome. Oh, this is gonna get annoying. Did these little people over here seriously just decide to attack? Great. Now I'm gonna have to compete over this territory. Hate it. Well, I'll tell you what, Tabrizia over here is currently distracted. Let's go ahead and attack Uruk immediately, and we're gonna try to take over their capital too. Should be able to win this, I would hope. There we go, boom, all right. Then just attach a few units, hold the phone. We need to go for a stack wipe if we're quick. There we go. All right. Very aggressive start, but now we're working on 2 wars simultaneously. If I can get some of my cores, that's great. And even if these guys end up taking one province, as annoying as that is, it's just an excuse to go to war with them later too, though they are a vassal of Syria. That's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and peace out with my rival, take one of their forts, take some cash since I'm kind of broke right now. And we're gonna end up deleting this fort because I don't want to pay for it, but I'm just removing a fort from them so it's easier to take them down in the future. And then there's no way I'm gonna get to take this last territory over here, I think. Well, I mean, if these guys take a few months to take this land, maybe we can. I doubt it, though. No, never mind. They've already sieged it down, so that's that. All right, we're just gonna have to accept I'm only gonna take my 2 cores. Dang. Now, weirdly enough, it looks like Persia has deleted a lot of its army. There's some sort of unrest going on, it seems, which means I now have an equivalent army to them, and we can go for the tensions in the east. Long ago, the treacherous Persians overthrew our rule in Iran and cast down our great Basilius, rejecting him as their rightful Shahanshah. Since then, our empire has been in perpetual decline. If we play our cards right, though, we might be able to use the 3 regional powers of Egyptos, Macedonia, and Persia against each other while reforging our empire. I like that idea. 20 more power projection for me. That should take care of Uruk. Let's grab 55 ducats off of them, thanking you. And next I want to immediately attack Basra down over this direction so we can follow the Tigris River all the way down to the Persian Gulf, which I feel like should be really easy to do since I just stack wiped their army. Let's move on to the capital. We have won enough battles and gotten some of our army tradition, which means I have revitalized the army. We have enabled force march for 20 years, plus more force limit and so on, and 100 military power, which means we are still a little bit away from Tech 4. Darn. What is this? The Demi-Archons have picked an Archon. All right, this is like picking a pope, it looks like. I think the Archon is supposed to be like an envoy directly from Zeus or something like that, so that's kind of cool. And this takes care of Basra. Well, I say that. They're not willing to give up yet, but who cares? Of course, in order to get Basra to give up, I'm going to have to siege down Oman, which is a bit annoying, but it's going to be worth it, I promise. There we go, which means now I can take this territory for myself. Perfect. All right, with that taken care of, we now can finish the Follow the Tigris mission, which loses years of separatism, gives me some trade goods, but also permanent claims on the entire Mesopotamia region, not just an area. So this entire region now I have claims on, which is going to be really good against Persia later on. Now, unfortunately, if I want to continue expanding, I am going to have to eventually break my alliance with my ally Edessa over here. But I'll probably use them to fight Armenia real quick so I can grab this territory for myself since I do have a core. But before I do anything, let's snag that alliance with Macedonia here, mostly so I have a big buddy to scare away Persia, hopefully. Bada boom, let's go to war. Kind of a weird spot I find myself in here. My allies aren't being the most useful. I'm kind of doing a base race? That doesn't feel good. Fortunately, it looks like we can rally all of our buddies and get in there and crush them in Babylon. Beautiful. And thanks to an unconditional surrender from these guys, we should actually be able to just go ahead and peace out with Armenia. Not that I have a lot of use for fighting them anyway, so let's get out of there. And that ended up being a fairly bloody war just to get back one core, but it's okay. Now I think we go ahead and break the alliance with Edessa, unless I can get them to do anything against Syria, which I'm pretty sure the answer is no. They like the Syrians. Well, that means you're not very helpful, are you? So yeah, let's go ahead and break this off. We'll have to find ourselves a new and better ally, because I need to conquer these guys. And what are some of these unique decisions that I'm able to take over here? Consult the Oracle in Delphi, get a prophecy, hopefully. Interesting, spend Athenian influence. Maybe something good happens, maybe it doesn't. I am admittedly curious what this is going to do. Let's give this a go. Seeking answers about our often tumultuous future, the Basilius has arrived in Delphi to inquire the Oracle for answers. Let's see what she says in 7 days. The Oracle returns and says, I get some prestige and also Diplo rep and improve relations. Until the death of this character. Ah, okay. See, that's the thing. In a couple of years, I'm looking to get rid of this character and, have a much, much better heir take over. Looks like we can enact our first reform. We actually already have something special. The Seleucid monarchy over here. Okay. Attrition for enemies, yearly absolutism, and so on. That could be good. Phalanx force limit. I don't know what that means, but it's gray right now, so I assume I can't do anything with it. Let's go ahead and abdicate pretty much as quickly as we can. Get the 656 in charge, thank you. Which actually means that I can become a philosopher Basilius. Okay, that gives tech cost and stuff, I like that. And then guarantee freedoms, lose admin power, gain national unrest reduction. I don't know about that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight Syria. If we're going to have this big of a numbers advantage, why not? Okay, 75% war score thanks to Macedon's help really does go a long way. What I really care about, of course, is taking my core back, so let's take that. I also really need to take these other two territories, and depending on what happens here between Bambius and Edessa, that'll determine my next mission. I can also force Syria to release their vassals and pillage a couple of capitals, and this means that they're very easy for me to conquer later on. May seem a little bit mean-spirited, but I'm good with it. Now, with that taken care of, the question becomes, what do we do about Edessa over here? Hello, buddy. I'm literally just waiting to see what happens over here. Okay, actually looks like Bambius decided to take all the land that I need, which is these 4 territories exactly. Perfect! Tell you, it's really hilarious having significantly better troops than most of my neighbors. Our starting ideas are very strong. Hey, another mission is complete. Okay, so we can go for some government reform progress. Improved levies estate doesn't increase influence and costs absolutism. And also, the phalanx allows for a new type of infantry. Ooh. Yeah, I can build 5 of these things. Shock damage received minus 25%. And they cost the same as regular infantry. Oh, these are just objectively better. And for good measure, I'll go ahead and snag these guys as a vassal and just start feeding them some land. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and take all of this territory. Could create a coalition. I accept this. And this lets me finish another mission, the Levantine expansion. Gain permanent claims on 3 more areas, plus a reduction in aggressive expansion, which is awesome. And this is why I wanted the ability to strike Syria over here to the west and break up all their vassals while we could, because now it's free real estate time. What is this thing, by the way? Commission a biography of the Basilius. Only works if they're a decent or pretty darn good ruler and have ruled for a while. Sure, why not? What does this do? You pay money, and a biography of fine quality will take a long time to produce. Huh, okay, quality 1 star. Is that a good because it's a gold star, or is that bad because it's only 1 out of so many stars? I have no idea. The product is below the quality we expected. Well, I'm gonna go with this is terrible then. But we get some prestige, some legitimacy, some splendor, and a chance of stability. No, darn it. Alright. Do we want to try consulting the Oracle again? Yeah, kind of. Let's see what she says. Something good, apparently. All right, let's see. Prestige, and for the rest of our life, goods produced in global prosperity growth. Ooh. Let's make sure we invest in some tech while I certainly can. Feed the vassal. Hey, are these new idea groups? I think there are, actually. Liberty, assimilation, and firepower. Oh, well, that's unexpected and kind of awesome. Also, am I crazy, but a dev cost advisor? I don't remember this being a thing. So about 1470, we're looking pretty good. Certainly in a better position than we had been before. Though the missions are going to be a little bit difficult for me from here on out. Got to take on the Persian Empire and all their satrapies at some point. That's going to be a bit tricky. Build up some wonders? Sure, why not? Become a great power with 500 development, and we can become the Seleucid Empire, which would be awesome. I want to do this, but that's a lot. I actually only just noticed that we have the Hanging Gardens of Babylon over here. Woo, okay. Local unrest, prosperity growth, governing costs, production efficiency. Sure. Upgrade this thing all the way to the maximum. Wow, 10% global production efficiency and 5% development costs is really quite good. Not to mention a lot of the local benefits, too. Nice. Just gotta patiently wait. Now we can kill Syria once again. Let's go. It's about as easy as it gets. Let's make sure we take a fair chunk of land. I need Damascus and Baroa over here. That's not optional. If I eat the entirety of Syria, yeah, I mean, we got ourselves a coalition to worry about, but it's a pretty hefty amount of land. I like it. Fortune favors the bold. All right, that is enough to say that we have struck against Syria. And since Syria doesn't exist anymore, I think that's an easy argument to make. That gets me some trade power in Aleppo, Damascus steel until the end of the game, more infantry, combat ability, and local goods in Damascus. Nice. Plus a mess of new claims. If I take a look here, there we go. This entire region is now open for business. Oh, and what is this I see? Looks like we are now considered to be a great power. And they said it couldn't be done. Actually, how are things looking in the rest of the world? Well, Egypt has been growing a bit. That's concerning. Numidia has broken free from Carthage and taken land. Okay, Suebi is growing in Spain. Gaul is still looking quite strong. Nordanvik? Okay, sure. The Jarldom in Scotland is apparently pressing down throughout Britain. That's interesting. Norland, another nation that seems to have grown substantially. And Kashubia. Okay, I don't know who these people are. That's kind of cool. They're Slavic, though, and they're taking tons of land. But what about Rome? Rome is just sort of petering along. They got a little land. They're not doing much. It's kind of interesting watching Persia expand, by the way. Like, for example, they created Caspia as a new satrapy. So they got their own special type of government for a vassal. Interesting. What's the next mission I finished? Oh, there's one down over here for reviving Babylon. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Didn't mean to do that when I got some more dev, but it works. City planner, we get some local construction development and goods produced modifiers for the rest of the game. Okay, and if I have even more money, we increase the trade level. Ooh, see, that's worth doing because Babylon is already a market town. I could turn it into a world trade center. We want that. That's cheap. That's like usually 1,000 ducats. There we go. That's super duper worth it, right? Yep, world trade center, level 3, Beautimus. I'm still a fair bit of development away from being able to get my mission here for the resurgence of Seleucia. I need to get a lot more territory from, let's say, Egypt. Yeah, I mean, with Macedonia's help, it looks to me like we can easily beat these guys down. We should give it a go. Yeah, this seems especially good if their entire army is just going to be sitting here right next to me. Let's get them, boys! Wrecked. Oh, man. The goal of this war is simply to take all of the Phoenician region, which we should be able to do, pull that off, gain claims on all of Egypt, not to mention 20 more years of siegeability and morale, and so on. Yeah, and also, hold on, a restoration of the Union? Ooh. Personal union with Egypt, now that could be pretty fun. So let's see, how much war score do we actually need? Only 49, and actually the shorter the truce timer is, probably the better if I want to have a chance at restoring the Union, which might be ridiculous, but if it works, it works. All right, we're going to take all of that land. We are officially threatening you, Egypt, and we enjoy a lot of extra benefits. And let's also take out a couple of loans. Make sure we grab that tech. Go, go, go. Boom, boom, boom. New ideas. I have defensive ideas already, and the reason I picked those up is because whenever I go to adopt the Agogi, whatever this is, the Alexander system, if you have defensive ideas, you also get, I think it's 20-ish years, 25 years of extra morale of armies, which could come in handy. I think maybe this time I go ahead and take religious ideas. It's going to take a while for these to fully take effect, but when they do, we'll be able to use Casus Belli's against all of Persia, and that might make my life a bit easier. Plus, you know, just in general, now that we're conquering this corner of Hellenism, looks to me like just about every other direction, except for heading towards Macedon, will be able to spread the Hellenistic faith. So this could work out for me in the long term. Oh, look at this. I can apparently convert some of the few remnants of Judaism and Christianity that are left in the world. Not many of those in this particular universe. Whoa, what is this thing, by the way? There's a bunch of weird little, like, symbols. Are these straight from Imperator? I'm pretty sure they are. Oh, dude, these are definitely from Imperator. Wait a minute, this is the mana. This is the stuff that everyone said they hated from Imperator. Chewy, you cheeky dog. Ah, dang, my 656 finally died. He lived to like a ripe old age of, I don't know, 80 or something. It's pretty good. Should only need about another month to annex my vassal, and there we go. Okay, so we get all of that. Does that mean I am now officially resurgent? It does! Which means I get some permanent extra power projection, some admin efficiency for 25 years, and we are now going to be the Seleucid Empire, apparently. Wait, where? I don't see it. Oh, I have to click this button. Got it. Aw, man! I went through all this to get the cosmetic rename, and then I'm being told I need to double my development. Ugh. Makes sense, though. I should at least be an empire. I get that, but come on. Okay, truce expired. This is my opportunity to get a major power spike. It's probably going to create a massive coalition, but I also accept this. Honestly, this should be a really, really easy war. I'm not even sure where their army went. They ran away. They're hiding. Oop, Chewy, found a problem. Cardinal distrusts heathens? A cardinal? You mean, demi-archons. Anyway, this is more than enough war score to get me my full union. I'd like to take this land as well, by the way, just to clear out a little bit of border gore, but you can keep the rest. Coalition is nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be, frankly. I mean, that is a lot of aggressive expansion, but most people who are Hellenistic are already my allies, so they don't care. Oh, and 1,000 ducats to boot, and it's only going to cost me 23 admin power for this one territory. No diplo. This is the best trade in history. Super easy war. Right, well, just like that, I have taken another one of the world's powers and unified it under my throne. The Diadochi are coming together, boys. Which means I actually get to finish another mission. I have dethroned the Pharaoh. We get a new event, Egyptian governors. Our conquest has been swift and decisive, misspelled. Chewy! Fix it! The rulers of the Nile swear unwavering loyalty to our Basilius. Do we integrate the Seleucid governors tier 7 government reform? Or every province in Egypt which is owned by one of our subjects gets monthly autonomy and province governing cost. I mean, that's great, like, for them. That's not great for me, though. So we're doing this. Let's see what else we get. We got a lot of prestige, which just became free monarch points. All Egyptian Greek culture groups are going to lose their unaccepted culture. We are now the Pharaoh of Egypt, giving me legitimacy, and I just got claims on Carthage, Tabuk, and Unifying, which means now I can expand across all of Africa if I want to. Good lord. Including, by the way, a mission to smash Carthage, which I feel like shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. Ooh, if we do this, we get Carthago Delenda Est, which gets me a free colonist. Fascinating. Also, what is this whole Second Coming thing? Oh, we've ended Christianity. We completely destroyed it. The Second Coming, huh? Right. All right, for 25 years, everyone's more stable. And now I get claims on the entire Arabian region. Dear God. Yeah, forget you, Persia. You sit there and stare at me menacingly as much as you want. I got lots of things to conquer. I'm about to become stupid strong. And actually, I do think this is probably a good place to end this video, but wow, okay, yeah, Seleucia can have some pretty serious fun. The proper heir of Alexander, indeed. I mean, let's see, I'm still surprisingly only the 4th world power, but I'm like 1 dev below Macedonia at this point. Not to mention I have a force limit of 55 now here, whereas Persia, they still got about 40,000 troops. The biggest issue with Persia is they have a vassal swarm. That's the only reason I can't fight them. But between the Diadochi, honestly, Hellenism stands strong, and once it's all properly united under my rule, Oh, then the world can look out. How's Rome doing, by the way? In case you were wondering, these guys are the Holy Roman Empire. It's a federation of sorts, so in case you were wondering, that's how this works. Anyway, but all that aside, yeah, I think this is a good place to end this. Really cool mod, honestly. I like the idea of alternate timelines, especially with something like Carthage beating Rome. I mean, it's interesting, right? You take away the Latin hegemony that unified so much of the Mediterranean and Europe together, get rid of that, and it's still surprisingly very divided, very diverse. Very cool idea for a mod from my friend Chewy. He and his team should be very proud of what they've created. This seems pretty darn fun. If you guys want to learn more about the mod, of course, I will place a link in the description down below so you can take a look. Otherwise, I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.